Hi there! Welcome back to the Bella Vita Therapy channel on YouTube. I'm Molly Papp, and I'm a licensed marriage and family therapist and a certified sex addiction therapist. This week, the topic I really want to talk to you about is actually called resources. And when I say that, I'm not talking about, some self-help like line or phone number that you would call, but actually using what you have around you to help you not feel so isolated. And I specifically bring this up if you're dealing with trauma, depression, anxiety. I get a lot of my clients that come to me, and I'm really glad they're in therapy because it, of course, helps them work through their issues and actually verbalize things that have usually been inside of them for a really long time. And that alone is so helpful. And the reason therapy works is because you're talking to an unbiased, open, and non-judgmental person about how you feel. But the second part is actually having more of a community of people. So sometimes maybe you have something in your past that you're ashamed of and you don't want to talk about. So what do? Sometimes people just keep it in. But I'd really encourage you to either go to a support group, a meeting, if maybe you have like anxiety and there's a support group in your area. A lot of times they're free, especially if you have, more of an addictive type behavior like overeating or relationship addiction. Just Google it and you can find support groups all over your area that you don't even have to pay for. But of course they have closed groups too. And those are groups that therapists facilitate, and you do have to pay for them, but they can be really valuable to feel not alone and to release some of that shame. And the other resource I want to talk to you about is books and articles on the internet. Be careful with the internet articles because they can be a little bit, misleading and you don't know who's writing them. But books are great. I've recommended a lot of, self-help books to my clients. And so it's always worth, asking your therapist, hey, is there anything you think that I should read that would be more helpful for me? It does help accelerate progress. And also I'm really into focusing on sometimes people you can follow on social media that are really inspiring. There's inspirational quotes, there's poets, there's people who are motivational speakers, and all these things can go a long way in just feeling really motivated when sometimes, the depression takes over, or perhaps you're dealing with a loved one who has some sort of mental illness and you can feel incredibly alone. And lastly, I just wanted to add that there's a huge movement in modern poetry that can be extremely helpful to verbalize sometimes things that you can't exactly say to yourself, but then you read a poem about it and it really hits home. And one of the poets I love is Amanda Lovelace, and I'll show you her latest book. It's called To Make Monsters Out of Girls, and it's awesome, and it really just hits into what it's like to go through trauma, breakup, loss, and then finding self-esteem and self-love. So thank you so much for watching this video, and you guys have a great rest of your day. Bye-bye.